I'm Denise Galoni. Welcome to today's episode of Empowering You. I'm back in the studio today because I have a wonderful guest with me, Connie Capiotis. She is an amazing business coach, speaker, and she is going to give you so much advice to start off 2023. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. My guest today is Connie Capiotis. She's a dynamic business consultant, speaker, and coach. As CEO of Full Flavored Leadership and the executive director of Digital Bridges Pittsburgh, she has distilled over 20 years of experience in consulting, business development, and marketing into impactful work that is catalytic in the lives of our clients and students. Her strongly defined skills and high energy personality have lent themselves well to working in a range of industries, including entrepreneurs, small businesses, media advertising, workforce development, nonprofit, and more, thriving in each. She's a business consultant, coach, and speaker who brings the smart and the heart to help businesses create their catalytic results. She currently serves clients one-on-one through her Full Flavored Leadership program and offers the Bold Boss Boot Camp to help entrepreneurs craft a solid plan of action to quickly propel their business forward. Can't wait to hear more about that. Connie shares practical steps and secret skills that lead to better business outcomes, more satisfaction, and yes, more money. Working from the perspective of right brain, left brain, and heart, you'll learn strategies for success in business growth, as well as the leadership skills and supports that are true determinants of growth. She brings the smart and the heart. Welcome, Connie.
Oh, thank you so much, Denise. I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy you're here too. We're dressed similar. We didn't plan that.
That is hysterical. Great minds truly think alike.
This is what happens when you have two good friends.
Yeah.
They dress alike without even knowing it. We did not plan this.
We have great taste.
We do have great taste. So that's quite an introduction.
Yeah, we might need to edit that down a little bit. That was a bit of a mouthful.
Great. So let's start with, how did you get started with Full Flavor Leadership? Because some people have a business. You, my friend, have two businesses.
I did. It kind of evolved and then re-evolved almost.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. How did you get started with Full Flavor Leadership? Was that the first business?
Full Flavor Leadership is really the most recent branding, the most recent iteration of my consulting and coaching work. I've been working in business development and coaching since just a few years out of college. I've always loved helping small and mid-sized companies to really work their plans, create their plans, and become better businesses. And what I found is that the most growth really happens on the individual level, very granularly. And I wanted to help people on that more granular level. And that's where Digital Bridges Pittsburgh came in. That is the education and nonprofit arm of my work, where we focus on skills, we focus on strategy, and we focus on giving people the support that they need to rise to whatever it is from wherever they are. I like to say I meet people where they are and help them up, because we really do. It doesn't matter if you have no experience with computers and you want to learn, or if you're just looking to take it from a higher level, even higher. It's all about figuring out exactly where you're at and charting your growth upwards and making sure you have the support to get there.
Okay, that's great, Connie. So if someone has a business and they're thinking, it wasn't a really good year. We just came off a pandemic. We're still coming off a pandemic.
Yeah.
We're not even through it yet.
It's still happening. It's still part of our world.
It affected just about everyone's business.
It did.
Looking ahead, this is January. This is a whole new year now. What should people do? Like, what should they do when they look ahead to their business and think, okay, this is going to be my year of growth? Like, what tips would you give someone that they should do?
Absolutely. It starts with taking stock. Really take stock of where you're at right now. The good, the bad,
And
the ugly.
right.
Especially the bad and the ugly, because that's where the golden nuggets are that will lead you to better paths. If you look at what's not working, we can solve for that. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like backwards engineering everything. If we look at, okay, what did you do over the last year? That's actually something I'm doing for myself and my own businesses right now. I'm literally going through my calendar,
Mm-hmm.
taking stock of who did I meet with, where did I spend my time,
Right.
how effective was that, who do I need to circle back with, who do I need to make new connections with in the new year. So it's that combination of looking at where you've been recently and where you want to go, and then the steps are dictated in between.
Right.
You know, if you notice on your calendar, I didn't get to enough networking events last year. I don't think I was really putting myself out there enough, or I didn't post enough to social media to really
Sure.
generate visibility.
Right. Right.
We can look at the actions that are giving you the outcomes, and then we change the actions to get better outcomes. It's all about action.
You brought up a good point too. Look at the good, because we look at the good. We
Yeah,
always look at the good.
Of course, we love
we
the good.
always look. We love the good.
We swim in the good.
And the bad, okay, but sometimes we don't even want to look at the ugly. We want to put a cover over it
Yep.
and put it aside, and not, but we have to.
Yeah.
Because until we look at that and be truthful and like stand in that truth that ugly, we can't get out of that ugly.
Exactly. And I'm all about looking the ugly in the face and almost embracing it. I really do believe that you've got to accept what's not working in order to change it. I'm not one for glossing things over. I tend to be a truth teller with love. You
Right,
know what I mean?
right.
Like, I'll tell you something hard and then tell you how much I love you in the exact same breath. And that's actually what creates an environment where we can stomach those difficult conversations and the stuff that's not going right without beating ourselves up, because it's all just part of the process. None of it's personal. We're not attacking ourselves as people.
Right.
We're simply looking analytically at the situation and what steps, what actions are going to get us to the results that we want. And it's really that combination of reality and heartfelt, I love you no matter what support,
Right.
that kind of creates magic.
Right. That is true. And we learn from our mistakes.
We do, and especially if it's done with love. You know what I mean? If you can sit down and look at your mistakes and your struggles, and instead of beating yourself up about them, you can look at them constructively and say, okay, well, how can I just be a little bit better? And it's baby steps. People want transformation. They want the butterfly. They want to come from the cocoon and everything's perfect and beautiful.
Right.
That's not reality.
No. No. I mean, I compare it to people at like weight loss.
Yeah.
I want to lose these 40 pounds next week.
Yeah, so would
Meanwhile-
I. Wouldn't that be great?
Meanwhile, it took me years to put them on.
Right.
So it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process, and we're all human. It's not going to be a straight line. It's never a straight line.
Right.
It's usually curly. But it's really about those actions, and then the support piece is so incredibly important. And I find that that's probably the piece that most people are missing the most. I get people to literally create support plans for themselves that include both professionals and non-professional supports, your friends, your family,
Sure. Right.
and coping techniques that you can even use in the moment, so that you know you're providing yourself that really well-rounded support and emotional intelligence to be able to be resilient and come back from whatever it is that is dished out to you on a daily basis.
We all get it dished out.
Oh, I know. I have a little analogy that I use. So life is like a tornado, right? We're all in these winds. It's chaotic no matter who you are.
Mhm.
So life is going to throw debris in our faces in all of this wind, right? Sometimes it's a leaf to the face. You're running a little bit late. The person in front of you is driving slow. Those little day-to-day annoyances, which you've got to cope with those too, because
Sure.
they really add up. But then there are those things where life throws a refrigerator through your window. You know, you're in crisis, you're going through a divorce, you or someone you love is sick, those big life-changing, stressful things. And you've got to be able to cope and have a plan for both the little day-to-day things as well as the refrigerators through your window. And it's a process of making sure you know what you're going to do and who you're going to call when that stuff happens.
And the pandemic proved that.
Absolutely.
And a coach told me one time, you can't control what happens, but
Absolutely.
how you react to what happens. Because a lot of people out there, they pivoted. They changed their business types.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a friend that did tours. She did them virtually because you couldn't do tours in person. So it's just how you react to these things. I think that's so important. Another thing that I was thinking when you were talking is we compare ourselves a lot to people.
Mm-hmm.
Social media, as wonderful as social media is, there's the other side that sometimes things aren't as truthful that people are putting on social media.
Yeah, well, social media is like the epitome of a double-edged sword, right?
Right.
It can
Absolutely.
be amazing because it can connect you to anyone and
Sure.
anything you want to do. I'm a firm believer that with an internet-connected computer or even a cell phone, there's nothing you can't learn, do,
It's all right through your
be,
fingertips.
or accomplish. So, wonderful tool. But the flip side to that is everybody has a voice, but everybody has a voice. So we wouldn't run into an insane asylum and immediately start shouting our political views, right? That's
Right.
kind of asking for,
Sure.
you know, chaos to come upon you. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's kind of the same with our social media. And we've got to remember, it's a highlight reel. Nobody is putting every single thing on their social media, nor should you.
Right.
It's a communication tool, but you have the ability to choose what you're comfortable putting out there, what you choose to keep private, and how you choose to respond to the trolls that if you do choose to share some vulnerable things, you kind of got to know there's probably some people out there that are going to disagree with you. And on social media, everybody thinks they've got the right to give you their opinion, whether it's positive or not. So you've
Right.
kind of got to have an expectation of that. And that's the emotional intelligence piece, the emotional agility piece. You don't think technology and feelings immediately. You think technology, it's a thing, you know what I mean? It's a thing that I use. But because of the way we use them, it's really intertwined with our emotions. Social media can cause depression, it can amp up your anxiety, or it can do wonderful things for both of those types of conditions. Just the frustration you feel when something doesn't go right. My Instagram got hacked about a week or two ago.
Right.
Talk about frustrating. I was not a pleasant person that evening, let me tell you.
I don't believe that, Connie, because look at you.
Well, even I have my moments, and that was one of them. But it can be super frustrating. So the first thing I actually teach people when we start talking about technology is take a deep breath, and we learn to deal with the frustration first, because tech is going to give you frustration at some point. So we deal with that first. We got to deal with the feels. And then we can use the tool appropriately. It all comes back to that support.
Right.
It all comes back to that resilience and emotional agility and making sure that your head's on straight.
Right. That is so true. So true. So if someone wanted to work with you, because I know you do one-on-one coaching.
I do.
That's
do.
most of your business, is
It
that?
is. It's quite a bit, yeah.
So what would people expect? Like, say I wanted to do one-on-one coaching with you. Like, what would happen? What would the process be? What would happen?
It's actually deceptively simple. We basically sit down and talk. We're going to talk about that good, bad, and ugly. You know, I'm going to talk to you about your business. I'm also going to talk to you about your life. Because if your life is not under control, if your life is chaotic, or you're struggling in a marriage, something along those lines, your business isn't going to be the best that it can be.
Right.
And vice versa. If your business is a hot mess, you're not going to be as happy as you could be at
Sure.
home.
Right.
So we take a look at all of the pieces, how they're working, how they fit together, and where do we need to make adjustments. It's a process. It's diagnose, prescribe, and implement.
Okay.
So we talk, we diagnose what's going on, we prescribe the action steps that are going to take you to where you want to go, we implement those steps, and then we repeat that process. You implement for a while, and then you stop and take stock. We're going to New Year's. Everybody's taking stock right now.
Oh, of everything.
Right. I suggest you do that pretty frequently. I take stock every couple of months. I'm really kind of on top of it regularly, but I'm a data girl, so I like that information. Right. It's important to stop and have those moments where you reevaluate what you're doing and then adjust accordingly, because it's about those small steps. It's about the small changes, the small tweaks that add up over time. That's what creates the transformation. That's what gets you to your goals, is these small steps that are well supported in between.
And it's not the same for everybody.
Oh, absolutely. No,
What
none of my
works for you may
clients are
not
the
work
same.
for me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And-
None of
and
my
vice versa.
clients
Right.
have anything in common.
Right.
That's not true. They do have some things in common. In fact, I've introduced some of them for working purposes. But I work with nonprofits on technology consulting and helping them figure out what systems they're going to use. I have clients that are going through some of those life situations that we talked about, and they just want to make sure that they're handling it as best they can, that their work doesn't suffer in the meantime.
Right.
I've got clients that are building their visibility and really working on the business side of things, the sales side of things. It's all about what's going on in your world. It doesn't matter what I think you should do, and it doesn't matter what any of my other clients are doing. We look at you, we look at your situation. That's why I like one-on-one coaching. The Bold Boss Bootcamp is a group program. But I love the one-on-one because I get really, really down into the nitty-gritty of it with people, and it's completely custom. I give you the resources that you need. We work on the projects that you need, and that's it's unique in that aspect because everybody's picture looks a little different.
Right.
But you know that you're really going to get the help that you need and the resources that you need to be successful.
So what 3 things should people focus on with the new year coming up?
You know, I
Business
think
things, because I know we clean the house.
Oh,
yeah, get healthy, go to the gym. Like we're putting all that aside.
well,
just
this is
business
how
things.
this is how we manage all of those things, right? Because we've all got a million hats.
Oh
We're
my
all
God.
juggling.
I say all I do is juggle. All day long.
Juggling,
juggle
spinning
balls.
plates, whatever
Right.
your particular visual of choice is, we've all got a million things going on.
Right.
And they're all at risk of dropping at any given time.
And they do.
So I suggest focusing on 3 things. Your skills. So what skills do you have? What skills do we need to improve? Your strategy. What are you doing? Strategy sounds like a complicated thing.
It does sound complicated.
But it's not. It's what are you doing? And what are you going to do to get the results that you want? It
Okay.
really is that simple. And then you make that plan, you stick to that plan. Strategy is just the action piece of it.
Okay.
What am I actually going to do?
Okay, you make it sound easy. Like I could maybe do that.
You absolutely can
Okay.
do that. And then, so we've got skills,
Right.
we've got strategy,
Mhm.
and then support. I'm
Right.
going to make sure that we're going to set these things up now, and I'm going to make sure next week you're getting to them. And if you're not getting to them, what happened, so that we can make tiny tweaks along the way. And it's a little bit of accountability, but more than that, it's just knowing that you've got the support. My clients can reach out to me in between sessions when they need the support or they want to share happy news.
Right.
Right before I came in here, I had a client reach out with some happy news. So
that's
was
great.
it was fun. It was fun. It was a really nice way to come into an interview. You know what I mean? Getting some positive news
Yes.
from a client. So they know that they've got me for what they need. And the cool thing is, opening myself up that way runs the risk of, everybody kind of overwhelming me. But I think because I'm so open with it, the opposite actually happens, and people don't take advantage of it or haven't so far.
Right.
There just seems to be something about just being that open and like, I'm here, I got you. And people love it, but they don't abuse it either.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's a beautiful balance.
And this is you. I mean, this is
yeah.
you. This is you 24/7. This is you.
It really is. It really is. It
We
really
were
is.
talking before the interview started. We have these big personalities. That's why when it comes to studios, we have these big personalities. And this is just you. This is just how you are.
All the time.
Very genuine.
I'm always genuine.
Right.
Good, bad, or ugly.
Right.
And trust me, I have my moments too. I have my quiet days too. We were talking earlier, I was up late last night working, so I'm actually a little slower today than I normally would be, but this is me. Like I said, I just want to offer you the skills, the support. We're going to work through that strategy. I am a strategist, and we walk through it together.
So, Connie, how do we know if we need those skills? Like we may think, oh, I've got that.
Well, everybody needs to improve their skills. I don't care who you are or
And what
how
type of
advanced
skills are you
are.
talking? Are you talking about technical skills? Are you talking about soft skills? Are you talking about business skills, or all of the above?
Yes.
Okay.
All of the above. All of the above. I've chosen to focus on 3 skill areas, and there's reasons for that. So we focus on technology skills, digital readiness. I like to call it tech savvy.
Okay.
Again, I'm a firm believer that with these devices that we all carry around and have access to, there's nothing you can't accomplish. There's
Right.
nothing you can't find an educational path to. There's nothing that you can't do with access to the internet these days.
There's a YouTube video for everything.
Absolutely. But nobody knows everything
No.
about how to navigate these tools.
Right.
And the interesting thing is, and I literally teach people from 8 years old to 80 years old. So I literally see the spectrum. Everybody has a different level of digital readiness because there's not a real standardized system for teaching it.
Right.
So whenever I walk into a room for a tech class, I try to get a vibe for like what level they're at.
But they're all different levels.
And, one person will understand the editor ribbon and one person won't. One person is great on Zoom and one person is still struggling with Zoom. And I actually kind of welcome that because those tend to be really good conversations because people ping off of each other. Oh yeah, well what about this? And I'm not sure about how to do this. And if I can make you a little bit more savvy about how to use the tools, it's just like driving a car. Cars are actually a lot more dangerous. We all ride around in cars.
We don't
We're
think
on
about
a bus. Yeah, and we're driving around in multi-ton missiles, flying at high rates of speed, piloted by crazy, distracted, tired
Right.
people.
Right. People that are texting and talking and mad about something, or having meetings while they're driving.
That is much more dangerous than your technology. So there's no reason to be afraid of your technology. But do we not ride in cars because it's dangerous?
No.
No. What do? We learn how to use the piece of machinery, and we learn what to do in case of emergency. If you get a flat tire, you call AAA, or you call your guy or your mechanic down the block, whoever your person is, or whatever resource you use when something goes wrong, you call them. It's the same thing with your technology. It's doing something weird. I'm a tech person, and I still constantly have things that go weird, and I'm like, what is that?
Right.
Google's your best friend for IT support. And actually, that is literally a pro tip. Most technology support people are Googling what it is the issue is and things like that, unless it's like real basic. So use those resources is so important. So that's number one, why I focus on technology, because there's such important tools.
Absolutely.
The second piece is business skills and entrepreneurship. I love working with business owners. I love working with business teams. And I'm a firm believer that business skills are life skills. We've all got to balance a checkbook. We've all got to figure out how we're going to pay for vacations. We've all got to manage our time. We've all got to manage our households. Life is a business.
Right.
So if I can give you those skills, those critical thinking skills, those budgeting skills, I'm giving you the tools for life.
Right.
I'm giving you the tools to make your life better. And then the third piece is the emotional agility and leadership skills. This is where all of that support comes in. And I think this is actually the most important piece, quite frankly.
Okay.
And after teaching this for so long, I will tell you, whether it's adults or kids, these emotional agility conversations and classes are the most engaging and the most impactful things that I teach. I watch people have light bulbs as we're talking about these concepts. I get things out of kids that their parents can't get out of them. I've had a married couple in one of my business classes that they work together as well. At the end of the program, they're like, we're not done with you. We're not done with marriage coaching with Connie.
Now you're a marriage counselor.
Well, and that
Yeah.
wasn't the point at all. The
Right.
point was simply these emotional agility
Sure.
tools that I teach, and teaching people how to cope with each other, how to cope in relationships, and it has that effect. And that is when people blossom. When they have that support, when they know how to work those emotional agility skills, is when all those other pieces fall into place.
Right.
We can sit down and strategize your life in about a half an hour to an hour. It's the support and the emotional agility pieces that are going to carry you from plan to success.
Right.
And that's why they're so important. And that's why I've chosen to focus on those three skill sets: the digital readiness, the business skills, and the emotional agility skills, as a way to really holistically help people.
Right. And you talk about support too.
Yeah.
And you have to be aware too, because some people give you more support than others.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
they just don't understand.
Right.
When I started my business, my friends had no idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they couldn't give me support because there was a whole different world for them. They were like, well, why don't you just get a job? why are you doing this? You'll make more money doing this. So people don't. So make sure you have that right support.
Yeah, that's part of making the plan. And
Yeah.
that's why I encourage people to actually make support plans, because your friends and family are great. They're wonderful, but they're not qualified to be there for you in every capacity. It's not their job
Right.
to fulfill all of those roles.
Right.
We need professional paid support people, whether you pay them or not. There's lots of ways to get free professional support. You need those people that have the objectivity, that have the specified skills. So whether that's a therapist, a coach,
Right.
a business strategist, people that are professionally in this area that are going to understand and be able to support you differently.
Right. And there's nothing wrong with getting help if you can't do something.
No, you have to. That's the key to
Right,
success.
right.
We, you can go. It's the whole kayak versus a ship thing. You can go fast in a kayak, but we go further together. We go further together in a ship. You can get so far on your own, but you can't run an empire single-handedly. That's just not how it works.
Yeah. So all these wonderful things.
Yeah.
You have full flavor leadership. You have digital bridges.
Yes.
We're moving into a new year. What is next for Connie Capiotis?
It's exciting stuff. I'm really excited about what's coming up. We are repackaging the programs for Digital Bridges Pittsburgh.
Okay.
I sat down and made a list. I have over 80 different lessons that I teach in my
Wow.
programs,
Wow.
all along these 3 categories, and all.
That's a lot.
It is. I've been busy. And it's just a matter of getting these pieces out to more people.
Mhm.
So if you're looking for individual coaching, give me a buzz. Look me up on LinkedIn. I'm happy to talk with you. If you're working with an organization and your team could use some help, let me know. If you're working with a group of salty teenagers that could really use this emotional intelligence curriculum, let me know. Everybody needs these on some level.
Right.
It's a matter of figuring out how I can best serve you. And that's kind of the beauty of these 3 skill sets that I focus on, is there areas where everybody can learn more and everybody can improve.
Right.
And they're super practical. And that's what I do in a nutshell.
Well, it sounds like you have a lot going on.
I keep busy.
You keep busy. Keep busy.
I hate being bored.
So I'm sure you have a big list of things that you're doing in 2023.
I do. And in fact, the one that I've got my eye on right now is I'm getting ready to go on a fellowship with the University of Pennsylvania. It's for social impact entrepreneurs. Because my business is so steeped in community service, that is the heart of what I do, is
That's
social
amazing.
impact. So we're there's 21 of us that were selected out of 150 applicants. And we get to travel to Costa Rica to spend a week in residency with one another, doing entrepreneurship things with other fabulous entrepreneurs. And that is just the tip of the iceberg. I have so much that I
So
can't
much.
wait to reveal in 2023.
Follow you on social media for all the details.
Absolutely. And keep up, because it's going to be a busy year. I'm going to be releasing a lot of announcements.
Well, that's good. I can't wait. Well, I wish you good luck in 2023.
Oh, thank you so much.
And
I
a
know
Happy
you're going to
New
be a
Year.
part of it. And Happy New Year to you
Happy
too.
New Year. Thank you so much for being here today, Connie.
Happy to. It's always a joy.
Yeah. Thank you for watching today's episode of Empowering You. I would love to thank my guest, Connie Capiotis, who gave you so much advice. She has so much going on, and she shared her knowledge with you and all her years of experience to help you prosper in 2023. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.